Hey everybody, how's it going? Lewin here at GarageBand and Beyond. Welcome back. Episode 4 of the Big Mixing Project. Today I'm going to be talking about vocals and harmonies and tones and all that kind of stuff. When I'm mixing a voice, and this, for me goes pretty much for both male and female voices, the sound that you really want to get, that you really want to help boost, that will help the voice sit above the mix where you want it, is sort of in the mid to high mids area. Now, if you sit there and you just sort of put your hand right here on your neck, this is the tone that I'm talking about sonically. This is the best example I could think of. It's the sound that comes from sort of down here in your throat. It's sort of between your head and your chest voice. And sonically speaking, if you boost that area, you will also get a lot of, or not a lot, but enough of the breath. Where the recording will still sound, natural. So that's that. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about first was the harmony part that's on this song. In the chorus, you'll hear a harmony voice. And that's actually his original lead vocal track that I copied. So I had to duplicated the vocal track, copied all the melody information into it, and then I edited it apart actually into 3 separate tracks, and I'll have to show this to you obviously when we get to the screenshot mode. But the vocal transformer works in terms of half steps. So when you move it up, it'll say, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or, reversely as you go down, it's negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. I wanted to explain quickly what a half step was in case anybody doesn't know. So on a guitar, from there to there is a half step. Half step, half step, half step. On a piano, from just key to key to key to key to key is a half step. So when I was coming up with this part, the song is in the key of A, right? So what I wanted to do was come up with a harmony that's higher. So I started with the 5th. Now, if you don't know, exactly what the 5th is, if you look at, your guitar, you play your guitar, and you just play whatever chord, right? And if you strum along, and you nail them out, or you figure out each note, you'll find them. The first one that you find, if it's an A, so A is obviously the root. C sharp is the 3rd, right? So here's A, here's the root, right? The second one actually here is E, which is the 5th, right? And then here is A again, another octave, and then here's C sharp, which is the 3rd. Now I want it to be higher, so I went for the 5th up, right there. So now if I try to show you this in steps, half steps, right? So here's the A again, right? So it's, let me show you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So 7 half steps above A will give you E, right? And it'll give you the E above in the next octave. So that's just sort of, loosely and quickly. I know this is quick, but when you're trying to create a harmony out of an original melody, you can use this vocal transformer and just sort of be aware of, the key that you're in, how many half steps it is to your 5th or your 3rd. Like in this song, it's in A, but then in the chorus, the second part is D minor. So I actually ended up going down to the 3rd, which is F. And again, I'll show this to you as the screenshot comes up. So all right, enough of me babbling away about harmonies and musical theory and all that stuff. So let's get to the screenshot and I'll show you what I did. All right, let's go. All right, so here we are at the project window in GarageBand. I used a lot of the preset things just, to help you guys be able to create these tones equally. So let me start with the lead main melody vocal. I came over here to the right side, and under Browse, I chose Vocals, and then I went to Male Rock Vocals. Now, the nice thing about using these is, and I like starting with this male rock vocal for male voices, because it gives you a lot of things that you do want to just automatically have, and it opens them for you, and it's nice. It gives you the chorus, which I usually take off, and as you can see, I did. I turned the noise gate up a little bit. The bass reduction is one of the key things that you should be seeing here. And this will work for male voices, female voices. If you find that the vocal tone is just sort of having a hard time cutting through the mix, chances are it's going to be something in the low end of that frequency range on the voice that's sort of holding it back and sucking it into the rest of the mix. So you want it to sit on top of the mix, and using this bass reduction thing is a really great way to EQ your voices. I have this at 76 hertz, and it's going to depend on the person's voice that you're recording. But start playing with this, the bass reduction and the treble reduction thing, and you will find some really interesting tones start coming out of your vocals. So let me show you quickly the compressor. I started, it starts with vocal compression basic. When you get here to the male rock vocals thing, all I had to do was bring up the gain just a little bit. I just brought it up. Next thing on the list, chorus, turned that off. Track echo is set really short. It's at 1/16. The repeat, let me zoom in. The repeat's at 1/16. The time is at 1/16. The repeat's at 40%. The repeat color is -8. Echo volume is at 20%. And the original volume is at 80%. Now, I just wanted this to be sort of like a background, like sort of a very pale color in the mix. It's just a little bit of an effect, and it just helped create some space between that and the reverb, which is obviously just set on vocal warm, as you can see. Between those two things, it sort of gave a nice effect on the voice. Now, the other thing I wanted to do is sort of color up and make this voice a little bit more interesting. Was use this. I love this megaphone thing here on the right-hand side under these vocals. Browse, vocals, and megaphone right there. This is a great thing. It gives you exactly what it sounds like. Sorry. I'm at the wheel. Right? So it's like a distorted sort of a nasally telephone voice or a megaphone sound. I didn't really have to do a ton of stuff to this. Actually, I didn't do anything. I clicked megaphone and then just set the level, and that's all I did. Now let's get to the harmonies, because this is what I think is going to be the most interesting and valuable part for you guys here. So as you can see right here, these are the vocal parts. Now it's exactly this melody. If I took all the vocal transformer work off of it, it would be the same exact part. So yeah, I duplicated the track, copied the information down here, edited it apart here, because this is actually where the chord changes are happening. Here's where A, here's D minor, here's A, here's another D minor, and then here we're back at the end of it. So let me show you. Here's the vocal transformer, and here's what I was talking about before. So this is set to +7. Now this is at the beginning of the part, right? So as he's singing A, I brought it up to 0.7. So this makes an E above the octave that he's singing in. Now if we come down here, you can see this is, like I was saying before, this is where the D minor chord is happening. And so the vocal transformer had to change a little bit, and it's at +8. Now in the key of A, again, this is going to bring me to E, and above the octave again. Here's where the other section is happening. Another chord change back to A. And this one is set to +5. And then here at the very end, I had to, let's see where it is. It's actually, I think this is +7, right? So this, as he starts singing a different note, I believe he drops down and is singing the 3rd or the 5th or something. Can't remember exactly what. But what happened here was that this will create an actual octave, or the root note of the melody. So that's pretty much all I did. And just doing this was a nice thing, because I can't sing that high, and I wanted to create an interesting vocal tone. I wanted there to be a vocal event that happened in the chorus. And this is a great way to create harmony parts if you can't sing harmonies. It's a hard thing to do. There is pitch correction on all of these. Quite a bit of it actually. 66 on that one. Yeah, they're all at 66 actually. So there's pitch correction on all the vocal tracks, and pitch correction. I typically don't like to select a key for the song in GarageBand, because you'll find that it sort of limits the loop options that it gives you. So I sort of just never tell it anything. I leave it in C. That way there are no sharps or flats, and the enhanced tuning feature works sort of more chromatically, and it doesn't give you sort of that like share over too much auto tune sound. So that's it. I hope you got a lot out of this video, and we'll be back soon with more.